Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'll be doing the video that's been mostly requested, which is how we met. So obviously I'm gonna give my version and my husband is gonna give his version or gonna speak on some stuff. So basically him and I met in 2019 on a Christian dating app. So basically, we met on a Christian dating app. Obviously, I was looking for a guy that loves God, who puts church first, who loves family, looking for those values. So obviously, in today's age, it's very difficult.
She was just looking for a white guy.
No! Okay, back to the main thing. So obviously, I was looking for those values and and then I went on the Christian dating app because obviously I thought it's gonna be easier to find somebody on the Christian dating app. Yeah, who's Christian there than searching elsewhere on those other apps. So then afterwards, talking for a while doesn't mean, and the thing with those Christian apps doesn't mean everybody goes on there like that's Christian. Some people just come there to explore, which isn't good. So I was there and I prayed to God. I remember praying to God. I was like, God, I want a husband. I want to find a husband who loves you, who fears you, and some other things I prayed for. But yeah,
What's the other thing?
I prayed for some other specific things.
Like what? Oh, you don't want to say?
No. So, and then afterwards, then I went on the app. I remember praying about it for a while. Then I was like, then I remember God telling me, try the app again, because I was there for a bit and I wasn't meeting people,
She quit.
Yeah, and then I was like, you know what? Then after I received that from God telling me try again, I was like, okay, let me do it now. And then I tried again. Then I saw this one's profile, and he wasn't alone, by the way, on the profile. He had I think there were the three of them in the picture.
So you had a hunch it was me.
Yeah, I had a hunch it was him. I was like, I think it's that one in the middle in blue. I remember the shirt. I remember the picture.
But the same, this one.
No. And then I messaged. I was like, hey, how are you? And then he responded. He was like, hey, how is it when you receive my message? Like, we can start from there. Like when I said, hey, how are you? I messaged first.
Yeah, from my side, I just want to say something before that. I tried so many dating apps. I think even saying 100 wouldn't be exaggeration.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
But not in a purpose of dating. I was just like, okay, I see there is this thing called dating apps. Let me sign up, and then I sign up with tens and tens of them. I don't know, and I just put some random pictures everywhere. No, I was just putting, I think, my one picture of me, or maybe 2 or 3 somewhere. I don't know, and then I saw some videos, just swipe this. Okay, I just swipe, left, right. Was it left to like someone? I think so. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, swipe right is liking.
Okay, then right, yes. And then in some apps, I try to swipe, to really do how I like. If I like someone, I swipe. If I don't, I swipe other side, And then it was mostly like some girls I was talking to, it was with some it was longer conversation, some it was shorter, some of them obviously wanted something else, I didn't really have something specific that I wanted, but the people are mostly like that, they're just like when they meet you and they don't find something that they have in their mind, they immediately just keep, okay, thank you, bye, and I respect that, and then after some time I found, oh, there's a new app. What's this? Christian dating app. Let's try this one. And I come there, and I was surprised. Girls start messaging like crazy. Like, this one is from France, that one is from Asia, I don't know, Philippines, China, some countries, This one is somewhere from Europe, that one from here. And then after some time, some chatting with some of them, suddenly she pops up with red lipstick, her bum hair, I think that was a picture, I don't know. And this is a nice looking lady, it's interesting. This is a black girl. And
so that's the first black person
first black person.
Really?
Yes. ever to message me. And then, like, what happens is that you are messaging me like, hi. And I was like, I was waiting for several minutes. Do I really bother with this? You know?
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, okay, let's respond. It might be interesting. You know, she's black, she's African. You know, I mean, I didn't know you're African. Maybe you were
Black American.
But all blacks are from Africa, basically. You know, so whatever. And then what happens?
I said, hey, I think, and then I asked, what are you looking for?
Yeah. I said, I don't know. You know, maybe a girlfriend, maybe nothing, maybe something. I don't know. And then you were like,
I'm looking for marriage.
For marriage.
I was always straightforward. Like whenever I'm texting with a guy, hey, how are you? What are you looking for? If he's not looking for marriage or that statement, when a guy says, let's see how it goes. Bye. You're off. I never like that word because ladies, majority of the time, if a guy tells you that,
Yeah. But then I was like, I don't know. I didn't want to say I'm looking for something serious, you know, because I'm not. I'm not. But again, it's nice talking to you. So I'm like, what I do? Let me just tell her, and I write, just someone to talk to, you know, but let's see later what happens. Maybe it becomes serious. And she didn't like that answer. I had a feeling, you know.
Really, could you tell from
Yeah. But she was like, okay, maybe from my point of view, I'm just gonna continue, put this guy to a side and continue talking to him a bit, you know. And I was like, well, okay, as long as we talk, it's fun, you know. Like, and that's how we continued from my side.
Yeah. And then after, like, I think he made effort, like
Few months.
and I, we were talking like back and forth, hey, and then we moved from the app. I think we moved to WhatsApp. And then looking back at it, he doesn't even use WhatsApp. If you live in Serbia or generally in the Balkans, you know that WhatsApp is not something
people do use it. Really.
But it's not really.
I don't like it really.
Yeah, you're using Viber, but he made effort. He even downloaded WhatsApp just to be texting with me because I didn't get it when I think he asked me if I have Viber. You know?
Yes.
But I didn't know. I heard about it, but it's not something I
used. I also asked you if you have Instagram, but you didn't want to give me your Instagram because you didn't trust me, I think. Yeah, at the beginning.
I think so, or maybe because I got scared because usually what some people do, some guys have this tendency when they add you on Instagram, it's like they just want a new follower to be there, an addition, you know. So I was thinking that, and usually conversation would go downhill from there. Then I was like, you know what, maybe, I don't know if I should give him. And then I was also thinking that maybe it's not gonna be serious, you know. Yeah, you asked me for Instagram and then...
Yeah, you said no, like, let's go WhatsApp first. And I was insisting and you were insisting no. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna download the WhatsApp. And we started talking there. And after some time, I quit the WhatsApp when we started following each other on Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, I quit it and then
we started talking. And I remember the first call we had, like you were explaining
video
to me.
Call.
Was it video call? I think when you explained to me where you're from. And then you're telling me like, this is where I'm from, and I was just like, And one thing about him is that he loves to explain things. If you don't understand, he explains things in detail. He try to give background. Like
it's called mansplaining, you know. That's what they call it today. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really good. You're trying to explain.
But you didn't like it. I remember
that time because I was not getting it. I was like, what is this guy saying? Because I didn't understand.
So are you saying that only serious women appreciate it, and those unserious girls who just look for boys, they don't appreciate mansplaining?
I don't know. I don't know. I think I would say so.
Because you just said it. I'm just making deductions based on what you said. Yeah.
And then, afterwards we're chatting on Instagram, Facebook, back and forth. Then, before I thought, maybe it's not serious, I remember sometime he would message me like, hey, when I didn't respond to his message, like, hey, how are you? Are you sleeping? Then I was like, I'm about to sleep. Then from
you were bothered, yeah.
Yeah, from that day I was like, wait, he's actually maybe serious, And then from then on we just kept talking, and then we became in a relationship. We started our long distance.
When you say became in a relationship, doesn't sound...
Well, we were in a relationship. And then started being in a relationship, yeah. And then, we were talking, planning when we'd meet each other, because at that time you were a student studying.
Yeah.
So was I, and I was, I think, working too, part-time at the bank. Not part-time, full-time. The bank, and we kept on talking and planning around, like...
we wanted to meet. That was the next point. Yes, and then, but that wasn't really realistic since I wasn't working. It was hard to find enough finances to accommodate all of that because like tickets are not so cheap to Zambia. They are very expensive.
Yeah, they are.
Generally to Africa, let's say Central Africa, South Africa. Okay, maybe Northern Africa is pretty okay, cheaper, but. Like not like here in Europe, you have tickets that are like 50 euros to summer, even 20 euros, like low cost companies. Like then the more serious companies, where you have luggage, it's 150 euros. But this is okay. That's pretty cheap, But to go to America, sometimes you can find a return ticket for 400 or 500 euros, which is okay, decent again. But Zambia, 1.2k, 1.3k. And for me as a student, it's not something that's cost viable. Like and then plus when you get that money for the ticket, then you need money to stay in Zambia.
Food.
Yes, food, accommodation, to travel, to do something there, visit some places, and then you are suddenly looking at around 3k euros, and then I have my school fees, I have so many different things in my mind, and I don't have a job for everything, so it was impossible for me,
it was a lot, and then but we're still very positive, like we're gonna make this work, we're gonna try, as much as we can.
But then we got an idea of bringing you here.
Yes, it was easier that way. So after talking like that and
when we continued, and then we started she started learning Serbian.
Yes.
I was teaching her a bit by bit, and then I was giving her some Serbian songs as a content for YouTube channel. Yes,
and that's how I started. For some of you always ask.
Yeah, that's how she started. How she found out about Serbia, about Bosnia and Herzegovina, about the general Balkan area, where we are, what do we do, and how do we do.
And then after I started singing, and then it was like boom,
I
was surprised.
It blew up on YouTube. Yeah, people were saying here there is this African lady singing Serbian songs, and many of the newspapers started talking about it. And even she was noticed even by some government officials. And it was very interesting. And that's how she came first. To Serbia, she got invited by the government representatives, and that's how she came, and that was perfect for us because I was able to meet her without spending huge amount of money.
Let's fast forward to when we met, like in person. I'll say my part. I remember when we were meeting, like in person, I was waiting for him. He told me like, okay, I'm on my way, I'm coming. Then I was like, okay. I was so nervous, and I remember he told me his height. He said I'm like 200 centimeters, something like that, which is I think in inches 6'7". So anyway, and then I was like, okay, but by then I didn't even know what these height centimeters are. He taught me a lot, ever since I came here. Now I know when somebody tells me this apartment is 40 square meters, no, it's small. Now I know. Before,
depending for what? For a family, it's small. But for a couple,
for a couple, it's okay. And then when I see 35, I say, what? My chance. My chance means not possible in Serbian. Anyway, so then like he told me, okay, I'm coming. I was in the lobby waiting for him, and then when he walked in, I was like, and he was wearing this jacket,
military
jacket and like backside pants, and I was like, oh
camouflage.
My gosh, the package I ordered online is a real deal.
But it was actually I who ordered because you're right here. Right?
Well, yeah, but I was like, oh my gosh, he's real, and he was tall. I was like, what? Oh my god, this is my Warnick, my soldier, and so I was so happy. I hugged him, I couldn't believe it.
I don't have anything to do with military.
Nothing at all.
Yeah.
And then like I hugged him, like he hugged me. I think you saw I was in shock. Like I was kind of like, oh my gosh. I was still like trying to like process it,
Yeah, and from that point, like when I saw you, you were wearing some sweatsuit. Was it yellow? Yeah, I think. And it was so weird to me seeing you. You were kind of tiny, you know. Yeah, she was always telling me I'm an average height, and when I saw her, she was tiny.
But I'm average height though.
She always says it. Yeah, but and then the first thing that came to my eyes that was a bit unusual for me was that she was smaller, you know, not so tall. I mean, now when I look at it, 160, 162, 3, it's okay, you know. But for me, since my family, everyone is tall, you know, everyone is around 2 meters, 190, 195, 202, depending. So I wasn't used to that, you know. And the second shock for me was your voice. It was so different, nothing like from the calls that we had, you know. And I was like, is this really her? You know, it doesn't sound like her. but I was seeing you were very shy.
Yeah.
You know, and that was something that left some impression
But
on
were
me.
you happy to see me like, oh?
Yeah, I was happy, but also confused at the same time. It was so weird. Like I can't believe this is not reality because all of this was just some fable story, whatever.
Yeah.
Like online.
But now it's real.
But now it's suddenly becoming a reality, and yeah.
And I also like the fact that when we met, we talked about marriage and how we viewed
We
marriage.
talked about very much before that.
Yeah,
also.
before that, yes. Before actually meeting in person, and how it was important, the values that you're thinking of it, you know, and stuff like that. And it was just aligning, which was very nice for me, and I was very happy that it was
Yeah. And I just want to speak about something that we also skipped already when we talked about when we just met online, I mean, not in real life, and started talking to each other. When we decided that we could continue to some relationship that might grow to something serious, I wanted to be thorough, and I set a few condition questions, let's say, to see if she could be someone that I would spend my life with, you know, just because I didn't want to get into relationships since we got to that point already. So I was like, if we're gonna do this, let's do it right. You know, I don't want to get into some relationship meaningless, you know, just to run around together and then just ditch each other for God knows what reason, some stupid reason. For me, it was very important that we have same values, you know, like family values. Both of us has to be Christian. She would have to, if that's okay with her, accept Orthodox Christianity, Serbian Orthodox Church. If she said I don't want it, I would say okay, I think it wouldn't be good for us to continue this because we obviously want work, and that's it, you know. But she was okay because she was already Christian before that, and she was okay with that. Then we talked about family. She had a family that 3 siblings. She was okay with also wanting a big family if it happens like that, you know. And I said okay, we align in many things. And then what was important for me also was everyone in your family is healthy. I know that this is not something that people usually talk about, and they don't consider it to be they consider it to be rude, maybe, or something like that. But it's very important since
I think it's a good thing to know.
Because tomorrow you're gonna create a problem, maybe. No one guarantees that, but I think there is a higher possibility if someone had some problems in the family, if some disease is, let's say, not disease, but something like that. I don't know how to explain it, you know. If there is some issues in the family, there's a possibility that your kids are gonna have the same issues. Let me just get something straight. That can happen even if 2 perfectly healthy people meet, but it's just less chance if you both are healthy, you know. So and if you don't have some like inherited issues of someone in your family, and something that's inheritable, you know. So that was very important for me also. And when we cleared that, we obviously trusted each other on our word. You never know, someone can lie, you know? But we made deductions that each of us is honest. For some, it was female intuition. For her, for me, it was some logical decisions and maybe social intelligence that we used to deduct those things. But that was the point from which we decided, okay, maybe we can now continue to grow this relationship into something more. And now going back to the point that we met in real life. Then we met, we talked, we went out.
We were happy with each other, like how we were like communicating, being together, just the real stuff when we were together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then afterwards, he got a job.
I got some job for some American company. When I was still studying. Yeah. And it was interesting period for me. Yeah. And then there were some issues there with people, with my tutors, and also that kind of stopped abruptly. Yeah. And then I got some period without a job. But I actually worked. I was teaching English to Chinese, Taiwanese, and Philippines.
And you told me to like.
No, Japanese. Kids, not Chinese. And it was interesting. And I suggested to you, then you started too, but that was not enough income, it was just something to cover you.
You could, but I feel you'd break your back if you really wanted to do
you would
that.
Non-stop have to be there,
So much work.
So that's what I was doing.
But we kept on praying, and they kept on encouraging, like, you can do it, let's just keep on trying,
and working hard. I think praying is not really enough.
Yes.
Like many people who don't really understand how it works. They just say, I'll pray for it, you're gonna get it. No, you have to work hard first.
And putting the effort.
Yeah, putting the effort. Because there is that saying, help yourself, God will help you too. And I think that's what everyone should go by, excluding the atheists, I guess, and those other ones. How do you call them? The demonic ones. I don't know.
That's okay.
Yeah, but generally, if you don't push towards something, no matter how long it takes you will not reach it. Yeah. I mean, there are exceptions.
True,
but to be that exception among 7-8 billion people,
exactly,
just quit, bro.
Yeah. So and then after the next year, we brought me.
Yeah, I found a stable job. It just came to me. I was applying a lot, and you were supporting me a lot. Like that, because it's not easy. I was having more than 100 interviews, and it's not easy. Some of them didn't even call me when I applied. Some of them accepted me, let's say, and said, let's have an HR interview, and those are those 100 interviews. So just imagine how many applications I sent.
And then others, would not even have good pay. It's like not enough.
Yeah, some of them are offering nothing. Literally, they say, "I'll work for 3 months for free," and then we're gonna see if you are good. We're gonna start paying.
That's diabolical. In this day and age, how can you do that?
Thank you. You can find someone else to shave, not me. I'm not the one for shaving. Yeah. And no, but serious. It's so dumb. Like, who would accept something like that?
Why are you saying shame? No.
Because there's a saying, something like that here in Serbian. They say, "I'm not a sheep for shaving." And then after some interviews, I had to reject some because I still had a few exams before I graduated. So I didn't have time to devote myself completely to the job. And I was saying, okay, just wait. I have one very important exam. Can I start this job later, like in 20 days after this? She said, no, we don't have. And then some jobs, out of those 100 interviews, maybe 5%, 10% offered me job. Some of them wanted to offer me some 200 euros, which is nothing, for the 6 months period.
And again, I think
there was this program where government gives you 200 euros and those guys give you 200 euros, the company, and basically that's how you go by until you get full-time job from the same company if they like you, But all of that is uncertain, and I didn't want any of that. It was little,
something very important that people must know, or if they're looking to get into long distance, is it requires money and costs money, time, and everything. So if you're not ready to do that, don't waste people's time. If you know you're not gonna do that, it's just best to be honest with somebody and say, maybe I just want somebody to be talking with. That's it. Then leading somebody on.
Yeah, and then several of the jobs are refused, those that I wanted, but I said I cannot do now, can you wait a bit more till my exam passes? They refused again. And then I got job in that American company, and then that also went halfway, not that great. And then all the time I was working for teaching English for those native camp company. I don't recommend it, by the way.
Why?
It's bad, just bad.
The rate is not good, to be honest.
The rate is bad. You really have to.
And then you put in so much effort. Teaching, kudos to teachers.
Yeah,
teaching is not easy.
It's more for conversation with some old people, and kids don't want to study anything. Then unrealistic parents who want to, they bring 2 years old kid that they want me to teach them grammar or something like that, and the kid doesn't even know how to say hi.
Yeah.
Like, there are good ones. But then when you reflect on your time, money, and now especially now that you have those taxes were introduced in Serbia for freelancers, it doesn't pay off. Just skip, And if you don't have any other choice, go for that. Yeah. That's my experience, And then after that American job, I was looking for others, and then I found 2 very good jobs, very good companies who offered me both work, and then I accepted the one who offered me first. And then after I accepted, because I was uncertain, maybe they won't offer me the other company, I said let's accept this one because it was a good offer. And then after some time, these other ones were calling me, hey, and I said no, thank you, like I already accepted. And then I got my first 3 salaries. In the meantime, I graduated. I saved almost entirety of my salaries and bought a ticket for her to come here and to spend time with her. So I basically obviously needed to take away my part to pay for my apartment, for my food. I couldn't save a whole salary, obviously, and then what's left of that, most of it, I didn't want to go out, nothing, it was just saving money.
It's saving for me.
Yeah. I gave everything towards the ticket, towards her coming here, staying in an apartment, and for our food, for our going out, for our going to Belgrade, going everywhere around, staying there, restaurants and everything, So I basically spent all of my money when she left. I was at 0. In the meantime, I managed to graduate. We got married. We used the chance to get married. What did we do again?
I went back.
I think that year was huge for me. I did so many things.
Even I graduated.
Yeah, you also graduated.
And that's the same year I also found a job, the same timing. I also found a good job.
You found a good job that you liked, finally.
That I liked. I love, actually.
And what else did I do in the end of the year?
Yeah, that's just about it.
Really?
After we got married, you went back home, like to.
Yeah, I know. I always remember that year. I found a job. I graduated. I got married. Yeah, those 3 things. Everything, like in the few months.
In a space,
a few months, And then and then you had to go back to graduate, to finish your study, university. And I went back to my home because now I wanted to save money to live with her, so I went home in Bosnia and Herzegovina to start saving money, because there I don't have to pay for rent. I mean, I was living in a village, and I like living in a village. It's very nice.
I went there too. It's very nice.
Yeah.
And excuse me, because you had to save up kind of to come and also do my customers in my council.
Yes, I had to save up for my ticket to go there, which is back then it was around 1.2k euros. I had to go there to pay for the dowry. We are not saying how much is it, but it's again considerable amount of money.
Yeah.
Then I have to pay for the ticket for her to come with me back here, and visa fees, and my fees, and her fees of staying there in Zambia while we are there. while we do all those customers and then explore around, go around. It's a lot of money, you know. So that's why I went home to live there, because it's much less than when I live in Serbia, because here I have to fend for myself, for food, for this, for that. But home it's much easier because you have your own food, you grow it, you have sheep, cows. I mean, I have pigs, chicken, for eggs, for everything, you know. Our gardens. I just sometimes paid for electricity, you know, or something like that, similar for some groceries that we don't have, because in a village, in my home place, the only thing we don't have is sugar. Those fruits, bananas, whatever. We have our fruits like apples, but we don't have bananas, oranges. Spices we don't have. With that we buy. And that's about it. We produce everything else. We have our own flour, our own cereals, our own wheat.
Which I think is very good, especially in today's age.
You know. Yeah. We have our own meat. So what I want to say is I didn't have to spend a lot of money. I did invest into buying my chair for work, around 150 euros, then my work table, and even invest in a few things, you know. And I bought my phone. I remember when I went after the wedding, I bought my phone, new phone, which was around, not expensive, like 200-300 euros. I think 250 something, I don't know. And I was proud of myself. Okay, I'm finally buying stuff for myself, you know.
But now
I knew I missed something, you know.
We'll check the review of the phone.
Anyway.
After staying there, and
so I did actually spend some. I again didn't save everything. I had to spend some money, obviously, and then I was going some places, I remember. But I said like 60-70% of my salary, every salary, for her to come to me. No, for me to go there and then bring her back and pay for all of the stuff that we mentioned previously. And then that happened. I went to Zambia, and everything started happening there, but we're gonna leave that for the next part. Because there is a lot to talk about that too. How was it?
But he honored me. If you're African and you know this thing, and your husband to be or comes and pays a dowry, it's an honor to my parents, and it's utmost respect.
At first I was against that.
We'll leave it for next video. Yes, but we'll talk about that. But
but generally, that's about it. In the next video, we're gonna talk about how was it for me, how did I travel. It was my first time on a plane traveling somewhere around, you know, especially that far to Zambia. It was like 8,000-9,000 kilometers. How was my flight? How was the experience of reaching Zambia, completely different continent, different country, everything was different people, different language, culture, everything. Not even animals are the same, literally, like everything is different.
And the preparation you had to do, like
preparation
some vaccines, stuff like that.
Yes, and also we're gonna talk about how was it for me, the customers that I saw, how were the people, how was the food, how everything went, what did we visit, and how I came back to Serbia, and then how did you come back here with me after some time, and how we started living together. So that's what it's gonna be in the next video. Thank you. Leave like, share and subscribe, and
we'll see
have a nice day.
in the next video. Bye.